Hello everyone, this is the Deputation, here to just remake the video of all my new arrivals to the SCVR in my Seybold Locomotive workshop. Had to remake it because forgot some things, I don't know how, but gotta make sure I don't screw anything up this time. Anyways, these arrivals, well, ever since I opened my repair shop, which is a private contract repair shop called the Seybold Locomotive Works, and that is for repairing locomotives that are owned by people like you. We work out deals and payments, and a lot more recent way I've been able to, well, like instead of getting paid money for the repairs, I get traded another engine, which is actually kind of handy. But that's the more recent deals we've been doing. And over a span of 2 weeks, the amount of engines sent to I'm sent to my brother's apartment is almost astronomical. It's so overwhelming when they all came here. And the reason they were sent to my brother's place is because I don't need, 12 plus packages clogging up our mail at home, because it's Christmas time and there are going to be a lot of things expecting. So I don't need it clogging up our mail here. So I had it sent to my brother's place. He was fine with that. Then over a span of 2 weeks, he collected them all and finally was able to bring them yesterday. And I spent the entire day evaluating everything and just was completely overwhelmed because I did not think that there's actually this many. I really didn't. There's a couple more too back there. I'll get to those. Let's get started, shall we? This is an old 1960s Montour 462, all metal except for the cab, and it's owned by a good friend of mine named Jesse. He lives in Iowa, and he has his own very impressive HO scale layout that he runs with his father. And he had a lot of his steam locomotives are sent to me. In fact, the majority of the locomotives sent to me of the 12. I think about 7 of them were from him, and half the locomotives that were sent to me in general I get to keep as part of trade deals and donations. The other half is being sent to me for repairs and will be sent back out once they're all done. Yeah, but this is a Montour 462, old one. The only problem with it, he said, was the needs a new trailing truck wheel because the flange on one of the sides is completely worn down and it's not usable. The paint on it's really bad, so I'm going to see if he wants me to rebuild it, because I'd be more than happy to. I'll make it look really good. Alright, that's the first engine. This is a Model Power 040 Fat Boy in a rare Pennzoil scheme. This was donated to me by a friend of mine, Jim, who buys and sells locomotives as his business. And when this thing came in I think about a month ago, he really didn't know what to do with it because it had headlight problems. He didn't even know if it ran. It was missing a tender. Paint was all dusty, still is. And yeah, so he decided to donate it to me. He was very nice because I just put a new tender wheel axle on it. I fixed I'm going to be putting a new tender wheel on it. I already fixed the headlight, and I'm going to be getting it to run really good. It runs alright, but I'm just going to be getting it to run really good and cleaning up the paint and making it look all good so a rare engine for free is really good. Always a good deal. This is another engine from Jesse. It is a Montour Alco C430. It's the Montour version because it has the MU motor, not the power torque that you see my Spirit of 76 engines have and how a lot of the Tyco ones had. So this is a Montour one. And it is custom painted in Santa Northern. It's kind of fitting for Christmas, isn't it? And I get to keep this engine because it's part. See, he sent me, I believe, 4 engines to be repaired and sent back to him, but in exchange I got 3 engines and possibility of a 4th one, so that's why I get to keep some of these. But it has really dirty wheels. The coupler mounts are broken. You have to drill out the whole pin and put screws in, and that's a pain to get the new couplers in. This back beam, we have to machine a new back beam for it to connect to the non-broken side. So it'll be quite an ambitious project, but we are keeping the paint because, come on, it's an awesome little paint job it's got going on. Alright, this is a tender off of a Blockman 484 Northern, the Santa Fe 3781. I had a Santa Fe 3781, but then cracked drive axles, and then I took everything off it, sent the just the frame and the boiler itself, everything else was gutted, sent it to Blockman, and with $15 they gave me a Union Pacific brand new one, the new 484. So, and I still have my original tender to 3781, as well as a lot of drive axles which I used on other engines. But I'm not exactly sure what he wanted me to do with the tender. I think he said replace the rear axle, but I'll probably just give him my tender because mine's complete and in flawless condition. So we'll see. I'll have to get back to him on that. Alright, See, these are 4 more engines by Jesse. These 4. And this is a really cool one. River Rossi Southern Pacific cab forward for 4274. And it needs quite a bit of work. It's obviously missing its pilot truck and doesn't have a tender, but he says he has a tender for it. So, and it's got a dent in the cab. That'll be buffed out and worked on. It was basically just sent to me to make sure to get it running and to get all new parts on it. I've got a couple guys who I get parts from, and then I put them on. So it's my job to make sure the locomotive looks and runs good. It was having contact issues when we tried testing it. It wasn't getting good contact to the rails and up to the motor. So that'll be worked on gradually. Needs a little bit of work. Alright, here's another cool old engine. Heavily worn out Bachmann Western Pacific GS4. These Western Pacific versions go for a lot of money in running condition. And obviously this one is far from it. But I'm not at all discouraged by the condition of this engine. It's going to be a lot of fun. You could pop off the wheels from the axles. I put them back on temporarily just so they wouldn't be all torn up and the rods wouldn't get bent. But it has all its axles, so I'm going to see which ones are cracked. And if they're cracked, reseal them. If they're too damaged to be used again, I'll just replace them. I've got plenty of drive axles. I also have a couple spare cylinder sets and rods and valve gear from Bachmann 484, so I'm ready for it if it needs. But the wheels are actually surprisingly really clean. So yeah, it's going to be a fun project. It's not even going to be that difficult, I'm telling you that. You just got to reseal the axles and attach the wheels to them. Then record it. Well, you can record the wheels if it needs to. Make sure the motor runs, and boom. And you gotta work on the valve gear brackets, which is probably the only main issue on this engine. But you know, it'll be a pretty interesting project. It's ironically next to my Bachmann 449 GS4. Anyways, on to the other two engines from Jesse. This is an old Bachmann. I'd want to say either late 70s, early 80s, because this one has the pancake motor. It has the traction tires too. Bachmann 060 slopebacker, ATSF number 2126. Tender's down there, that's why I'm reading it. But it did run all right. Has issues. Well, actually, it didn't have a cab roof, so I had one lying around. I gave it to it, and the valve gear hangers. Hang on a second, just trying to adjust. I got another common issue. They're always loose and come apart. Yeah, you're not supposed to be able to move it. So those will be sealed back down to the frame. Then it'll be oiled and cleaned, and the motor will make sure it's working good. It already does run, but it'll run a heck of a lot better once the valve gear brackets are fixed and it's cleaned and oiled. This locomotive is supposed to be repaired and sent back as were the cab forward and the GS4. But he was actually considering selling me the engine. And I'd take it, you know, if I repaired it and then getting it to look good. I'll obviously want it. It's got a nice slope back tender as well. Alright, take a detour here for another engine. This is an old Bachmann 440 American that usually has the tender. It's the tender driven one, obviously in pretty bad shape. Belongs to a guy named Freddie, who's a very nice guy, and he has a YouTube account. His account name is Bayline509. He's also building a layout just like me. Doesn't look like mine, but it's still his is very nice. He has a lot of nice work, and like I said, he's a very friendly guy. He contacted me about this 440 that he got for free and wondered if I could rebuild it. We worked out a deal because I have a 440 probably in almost the exact same shape that had a tender, and I wasn't going to use it, so it was kind of perfect fitting. I could use it for parts. It's going to be all black except for the silver boiler jacket. That will stay. I already took the tender off my old 440 and rebuilt it. It is sitting inside the shop. The next work that I'll be doing is attaching the new cowcatcher I have for it, which will be black as well. So here's the nice new tender I spent about a week rebuilding. Primed and painted the tender tank and the trucks. Cleaned the wheels and the pickup plates. It has a little bit of contact issues that will be resolved, so it can be able to run right. Yeah, this is a nice new tender. It only sits in my shop because I want the paint to stay. I want the paint to stay fresh. So it'll be worked on gradually. It's got a long way, but it'll look really good when it's all done. Alright, now over to the crown jewel of Jesse's engines. is UPFEF 484 number 836. Yep, he has one. These things, I was just looking, I found one on eBay yesterday going for $160 plus. It was not over yet. Jesus. These things go for a lot of money on eBay, I'm telling you that. Anyways, he said it needed rod work, and I could tell because the rod screws are loose, meaning when the locomotive runs very well, but when it's in motion, the valve gear rods don't turn. They just move straight on, like how the main and the side rods are. It doesn't rotate like a regular valve gear should. That just means you got to tighten the rod screws down. That's a simple repair, and that will be done very soon. And to clean the wheels and oil it up, and you'll get it running. I mean, it's an honor to work on one of these very nice things. He's really lucky to have one. And geez, it's just such a nice engine. On to another engine I get to keep from Jesse. It's an old Tyco Alco 630, and it is chassis system 1102. And the paint on this thing is incredible. It may be missing the one side of handrails, but aside from that, it's incredible shape. I have the trucks sitting somewhere around. I'll have to look for him again, but he did give me the trucks with him. He said he just really didn't have a use for it and just needs a little bit of work. Power torques are very complex, but when you have experience with them, it's pretty simple to do. You just gotta know what you're doing with power torques, because they can be really tricky for as simple as they look. So I'm gonna need heavy wheel cleaning. The trucks will have to be put back on. I'll search for some handrails. The power torque wires will have to be adjusted. New brushes or springs if it needs. So all in good time. It'll be a really nice engine when it's all said and done. I get to keep it. I'm glad. Alright, over to two more engines. I'll go over the other one that's owned by Jesse. Well, that actually I get to keep. It's an old Tyco 060. And for the most part, Tyco and Montour were the same in the early days. The only difference is when Tyco branched away with its own steamers, and that's where you got this ugly little duckling. And the reason it's ugly, I mean, just look at it. The valve gear looks totally unrealistic. It's just got the one rod. It doesn't even have side rods. It just has the one rod going into the cylinders of the main piston. It just looks totally unrealistic. Regular Montour steam locomotives without valve gear, like the shifter, the booster, even the Big Six, had standard looking valve gear like this. And that looks real. This does not. But yeah, I was still happy to take it. He didn't have a use for it, so I'd be happy to take it. When you put it on the track, only the light works, which means, and these engines weren't as simple as Montours, and I love old Montours, and these things aren't as simple. You just turn it on and the light works. So it is a pretty cool display, but you got an entire chunk of the step missing on the other side. I'm going to figure out what I want to do with it. I'll make something out of it, that's for sure. I love working on steam locomotives. Any type of locomotive, doesn't matter. I still love it. Yeah. Alright, let's go over this big beast. It's another Montour 462, but this one was actually donated to me, as was, like I said, the Pennzoil Fat Boy. And this is a Union Pacific 1960s Montour 462. This one is plastic tender cab, and it's not the all-metal version like Jesse's one. Anyways, good friend of mine, Ray, who lives down in Los Angeles, which is only about an hour and a half or so away from here, if that. He had this 462, and a couple months ago I did want to buy it off him, but I just didn't have the money ready. Then we were talking about his B&O 462, which I loved. He said he still had this one, and he said he would actually donate it to me, and I was completely grateful that he would donate it to me. As for the Pennzoil Fat Boy engine from Jim, it's so nice that people would actually give away these engines. I mean, the only problem I have with it is that it's missing its entire cow catcher assembly, and it looks kind of ridiculous without it, so I'm going to try to figure out what I want to do with it. It runs alright, just needs a complete go through, new touch-up on the paint, needs a new tender coupler. Like I said, the only issue really is the fact that it doesn't have a cow catcher, so I'm going to see if it'll let me put my boiler from my Southern Pacific Montour 462 and the tender to it to make it the SP version again. Because my SP one blew out the motor because of the smoke unit, unfortunately. But this engine is very nice, and it's very nice of him to donate it to me. I'm going to try to make something out of it, that's for sure. It's a very nice engine. On to the last one. This is an old 1960s Montour 040 booster in the B&O number 1897. This belongs to a really good close friend of mine, John Miner. He is JM Colts 95 here on YouTube. He made an unboxing video of this just last week, I believe, and so you could see it then. He lives up in Evansville, Indiana, and he got this locomotive because he's getting a B&O MTH Mikado for Christmas, and he wanted a matching switching engine to arrange a consist for it. So he found this on eBay, and he's known me for almost 2 years now, and he knows my trademark specialties for building Montua steam locomotives and various repairs on them. And I have my own Montua 4.0 booster, which is sitting, sorry, I have to lean over, sitting right there. Mine's the Southern Pacific version, and he knows I take good care of it. So that he knew that I'd be the perfect person to rebuild it. And being this thing is in worn out shape, I'd be a really good person for the job. In reality, it's not that bad, but you know, it certainly ain't pretty. It could be worse. The only thing that's really good about it is that it's all there. It's all intact, and it's pretty nice. Just needs heavy cleaning and rust removal and corrosion removal. And we're going to see how well the motor works, clean up the motor, repaint it. It'll look really, really nice when it's all said and done. Yeah, it's fun. I haven't done a complete Montua ground up rebuild in a little while now, so it's always fun to do one on these old engines. But yeah, it's a nice little engine. But yeah, that pretty much. Oh, sorry, God, I almost forgot something else. See, in exchange for rebuilding the Freddy's 440, did backtrack there for a second, I get this Spectrum 44 toner, Great Northern number 50, and it runs really good. Just need a wheel cleaning and some oiling, and it'll run flawlessly. We tested it out yesterday, it ran pretty well. But yeah, this thing is awesome. I'm glad in exchange for rebuilding I get that little awesome toner switcher, and then also he gave me a bunch of steam parts. Just a frame off an old Bachmann 282, which ironically I have a 282, so now I got some spare parts. This is a frame and a tender off an old tender-driven power torque Tyco 280 Chattanooga. So I'm going to be doing something with that eventually. Also the tender to the Bachmann engine. Yeah, nice. There's also a motor there. So yeah, that was very nice of him to send me all that in exchange for building the 440. It's going to be a fun project, to say the least. But yeah, I hope I covered all my newest arrivals at my shop, and I have a website. It's you can just go on Google and type in Seybold Locomotive Works, and when you're in the search bar, it'll be the first website that pops up. It's not hard to find at all. Yeah, but the Seybold Locomotive Works. It's Seybold Locomotive. You already know how to spell that, and then Works. You can find it from there. That website basically describes all the repairs I can do and some of the past projects I've done for myself and other people. And yeah, I mean, this is all the newest arrivals from about 2 weeks, and I'm expecting a few more within about a month or so. It's Christmas time. And now I'm going to be swamped for the next 2 months, I'll tell you that, to say the least. I got a lot of work to do. Thank God all the people who sent me these engines are very reasonable, and they don't expect these engines done anytime soon. Well, not anytime soon, but like not soon enough to where I'm having to rush and make it look, and rushing things and making it not look as good as it can. Because when you're rebuilding an engine, you just got to take your time. You know, just make sure you're doing everything right, because you're rebuilding it for someone else, not for personal satisfaction. But yeah, I hope I described all new arrivals for both the SCVR and Seybold Locomotive Works. And you can go to our website, and you will be periodically updating the projects and how they're coming along. But yeah, that's if you got any more questions on the engines that arrived, or if you want to work out a deal for me to repair your engine. I'm more specialized in steam locomotives, but obviously I can do old Tyco and Montua and Athearn diesel locomotives as well. So I'm up for a challenge, you know, I'll tell you that. But thank you guys all for watching our newest arrivals here at the Seybold Locomotive Works and the SCVR. Alright, see you guys later. It's the Deputation.